From protecting small units that need steady production with Bima Sathi, to securing women-led ventures with Mahila Udyam Bima. From safeguarding the dignity and security of women across India with Nari Samman Bima, to farmers protecting their land and livelihood with Saral Sampoorn Kisan Bima. New India Assurance's tailored solutions safeguard every enterprise, every effort, every dream. Because insurance isn't just about claims. It's about the courage to grow, to expand, and to move from local beginnings to a global presence. That is the true spirit of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Strong, self-reliant, and vocal for local. The power of Make in India evolving into Make for the World, and the vision of a digital India leading us towards a Viksit Bharat 2047, our Amritkal. Because when every dream is protected, India's future shines brighter. New India Assurance. Securing dreams, safeguarding livelihoods.
As part of the 6th edition of ET MSME Awards, our ongoing conversations highlight the critical challenges and opportunities shaping the MSME landscape. This fireside chat with Girija Subramanian, CMD, the New India Assurance Company Limited, is a key part of our campaign to empower small businesses with the right tools for growth. How can the insurance gap be bridged for MSMEs to ensure they are better protected for the future? Why are MSMEs still skeptical when it comes to taking up insurance coverage? To hear more on this today, please welcome our guest. Welcome, ma'am. A very warm welcome to you at ET Digital, and it'll be great to know more from you on these details.
Yeah, thank you for having me here.
Right. So, ma'am, let me get straight to it. Like the pressing topic is about US tariffs. If we look at it, they wiped out the export orders overnight. And extreme weather events are also becoming near annual, and supply chain shocks, as you know, can shut a small factory for weeks. So, for an SME owner, the honest question is, when these macro disruptions hit, does their insurance policy actually respond, or do they discover the gaps only after the loss has happened?
Yes, actually, for a typical property cover that is sold to SMEs, the property damage and the business interruption kicks in only after the property damage happens. Of course, underinsurance, to save some premium can be the biggest enemy in this case. And when the claim gets reduced depending on the extent of underinsurance. But while they get protection from CAT events which are covered and subsequent BI related losses too, the same may not happen when the business is interrupted by events such as the US tariff. I agree that non-damage BI is an area where insurers have to be more proactive and come out with some new products that have a wider scope. There are specific non-damage BI covers available currently. Like, for example, there was a mall that recently purchased a non-damage business interruption cover due to pandemic. So, but these are very rare and very few, available in the market. They are not standard. So, we are exploring some parametric covers which will cover such non-damage BI, so that we are also, contribute our might in our endeavor for Atmanirbhar Bharat.
Right. I guess the idea is to make them more and more resilient in the face of such disruptions. And also, if we talk about free trade agreements which have been signed between India and several countries, they have opened large new markets for MSME exporters. But as you know, entering global supply chains also means longer payment cycles, marine and transit risks, and small businesses are not prepared for most of these kind of issues that come along with the entering new markets. How should a first-time exporter think about building an insurance cover that actually matches this new risk reality?
So it is a vision of an honorable Prime Minister that SMEs and MSMEs, they convert from local business to global business. And I think the rest of the ecosystem needs to support this vision and provide all the coverages and enablements that will make this happen. So entering a global supply chain brings with it a lot of challenges and risks which an MSME working locally would never have thought about. So they need to buy protection from several risks, which includes credit risk. It also includes end-to-end marine protection, liability covers, etc. Insurers can offer all these covers as a bundled, product, as bundled policies that cover all of these risks. It goes without saying that they fully protect their domestic assets when it comes to buying appropriate policy, property cover along with the BI policy. But also when they dream to go global, all these end-to-end covers need to be put in as a package bundled product. I think that could be the best value add that that along with some very good advice that we could give to MSMEs when they go global, so that they're not in for surprise shocks, when such things happen.
Right, they can be better preparedness through these aspects, and they can be more confident then of entering these new geographies. Ma'am, next I want to ask about private insurers, insurtechs, and aggregators who are competing aggressively for the MSME segment today. So, given that New India Assurance is India's largest general insurer, what does a small business owner concretely get from that legacy in your view? And this is particularly at the moment of a claim that a newer, faster moving player cannot reliably offer.
The competition improves choices and pushes us to be at our best, to be simple, to be fast, and to deliver to the expectations of the customer. But the moment of truth in any insurance relationship is when the claim happens. And that is where the scale, the experience, the presence, the financial strength becomes tangible and it comes to the fore. So when a factory fire or a flood strikes an MSME, the owner needs an insurer who can quickly assess the loss and pay the claim. New India is a CRISIL AAA rated DSII designated insurer. Our 1,629 offices across the length and breadth of the country provide in-person support also in tier 2, tier 3 cities and towns where digitally enabled models have very limited presence. And our presence in 25 countries around the globe is also, means that exporting MSMEs to these areas could definitely expect more local coordination when a cargo claim arises overseas or when something is stuck in those particular geographies. We have a reputation for being a fair insurer who's government backed and who puts, the country and the social delivery ahead of profit making. So all of these factors differentiate us from other insurers. And when an SME decides on buying a insurance policy, I think he should keep all these factors in mind. And it also augurs well with the Viksit Bharat 2047 initiative and dream of our country and our commitment to for insurance for all by 2047.
Right, definitely. It'll align well with the developed India vision. And on that note, I want to bring in the aspect about women entrepreneurs. There are so many of them who are running food processing units, handicraft clusters, home-based businesses. And they are also among the most under-insured segment in India's MSME economy. So does New India Assurance Mahila Udyam policy meaningfully address this gap? And what is the company doing to actually reach women business owners in smaller towns where insurance awareness is still very low?
They say, she dares to dream, she dares to try. A woman entrepreneur reaching high with Mahila Udyam Bima by her side. She builds, she leads with fearless pride. This is something that we subscribe to, very much in New India. And this is a segment that's very close to our heart. Over 2.2 crore women-owned enterprises are registered in the Mahila Udyam platform as of November 25, constituting roughly 1/5 of MSMEs that operate. And yet an estimated 95% of these women-backed MSMEs lack formal financial protection. So these women are mostly concentrated in micro-scale, service-oriented businesses where a single major loss or a flood or a fire could wipe out everything that they have set up, built on mostly on borrowed funds. And this puts them into the below poverty line. So the Mahila Udyam Bima policy was designed specifically for this reality and to address this challenge, and it bundles a property cover with a mandatory loss of profits protection, burglary cover, and personal accident cover for the entrepreneur into one affordable package with a 2.5% discount being given for businesses that use renewable energy. So all of this, the mandatory inclusion of business interruption cover is critical in this whole thing, because a woman running a food processing unit, for example, the revenue lost during recovery often exceeds the physical damage. So beyond the product, reaching to these women is the real challenge. And we are working through our 1,629 office network, supporting at the Gram Panchayat level and engaging with various ecosystems like the self-help groups, where trust-based local language conversations make the difference between awareness and actual uptake happen. And we have also recently launched a very specific women-based product for women employed in corporate sector also, that protects them from layoffs. So we are generally trying to see that women across the spectrum, they benefit from being associated with New India.
Right, and that will ensure more women participation in MSME economy, and more of their tribe coming forward and expanding their reach across cities. That's great to know, ma'am. And my last question for this chat is about SME owners. A lot of them in any room today, if you see, they are either uninsured or they are holding policies that they've never fully read. The process feels complicated, the products feel generic, and most owners do not know what they actually need. So, if a small business owner wanted to get properly covered starting now, what is the single most practical first step? And if you could also list 2 or 3 things they must insist on before signing anything, I think these will be very practical tips for any SME owner.
Yeah, so the SME owner should either directly or through his trusted advisor ensure that all his assets are listed and covered at the market value, so that he avoids underinsurance at any cost. Policies like Bharat Sukshma Udyam and Bharat Laghu Udyam are having standardized wordings which are easy to understand. They issue by the regulator and are quite policyholder friendly. So we have to ensure that you have an appropriate BI cover in place. Clearly understand the exclusions, very importantly, the exclusions, what is not covered, the deductibles that you have to self-insure, and other documentation requirements at the time of a claim especially. Having an understanding on how to go about the claims process and whom to approach and the entire process also helps, when at the time of a claim, so that you have a speedier settlement, in place for you. So these are the few things that I would strongly advise SMEs to take care of, so that they have a seamless experience when they really meet with a calamity and the insurance has to respond.
Right. So I think awareness, as you're saying, awareness and knowing the terms fully before they sign anything or before they take on anything, that kind of preparedness is very essential for them.
Yes, very much.
And you at the New India Assurance Company is also helping to take that forward.
Yes, very much.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am, for that, for those perspective on why insurance is important for the MSME sector, and how they can include it in their portfolio to prepare better for the future and for any unforeseen events as well. Thank you so much for giving us those insights and for making it better for small business owners. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you so much.
From protecting small units that need steady production with Bima Sathi, to securing women-led ventures with Mahila Udyam Bima. From safeguarding the dignity and security of women across India with Nari Samman Bima, to farmers protecting their land and livelihood with Saral Sampoorn Kisan Bima. New India Assurance's tailored solutions safeguard every enterprise, every effort, every dream. Because insurance isn't just about claims. It's about the courage to grow, to expand, and to move from local beginnings to a global presence. That is the true spirit of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Strong, self-reliant, and vocal for local. The power of Make in India evolving into Make for the World, and the vision of a digital India leading us towards a Viksit Bharat 2047, our Amritkal. Because when every dream is protected, India's future shines brighter. New India Assurance. Securing dreams, Safeguarding livelihoods.